Good morning. My name is Pete Westall and I'm General Manager of Co-operative Social Responsibility. I've got responsibility for our membership teams, our environmental team and our community team. What I want to do this morning is to take you through a real background as to how these things interact and how we bring the S from our does values to life. I think it's probably important to say over the course of the next 30 minutes or so, we are absolutely intent on getting your views of how we can do things perhaps differently in the future, which things you like us doing, which things you'd like us to do more of, and which you feel we ought to concentrate our efforts on. First, probably a decent bit of background. There are three things as Midcounties Co-op we do with our profit. Rather than me talking about them, probably easier to let you see a video and that should explain it.
Shh. Did you know the Midcounties Co-operative is owned locally by over 300,000 members? Shh. Did you know that we are the largest independent co-op in the UK and that our members can all have their say in the way our business is run? Shh. Did you know we have 10,000 colleagues and are one of the UK's top 25 big companies to work for? We've even been voted as the best co-op in the UK by our peers. Well, at the Midcounties Co-operative, we do things a little differently. We've been doing this for a long time, and it's about time we shouted about it! You might be astonished at some of the things you can buy from us, but one thing is certain. Whatever you buy, we will only ever do three things with the profit we make from our sales. We make a profit to be a sustainable, successful business. It's what we do with that profit that makes us different. We plough profit back into our business. This could be to invest in new technologies or to buy new trading sites. We share profit with members who shop and get involved with us. This is a true dividend, not a loyalty scheme like other retailers. We use profits to set up new cooperatives. And we give time and money to support communities, to help make them more sustainable. One thing is for sure, there are no fat cat shareholders allowed in our co-op. Nobody else shares in our profits. That's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's going to stay. It's what makes us a cooperative, different from other businesses. A business that supports the local economy, supports the community, and defends the environment. We're proud of what we do, and we want you to be proud too. So start shouting about the Midcounties Co-operative, and we'll carry on doing it. If you like what we do, find out more at www.midcounties.coop.
One of the things we do with the profits, as we've said, is we give it back to our community. So how do we do this? We've got our does values: democracy, openness, equality and social responsibility. Every single colleague within Midcounties has to go through an induction on their first day at work to understand about these values and to understand why we think it's important. They guide us in our behaviours and they guide us as a cooperative. Democracy, we can talk about. That's all about people standing for a board, and it's about you as members getting involved in our democratic process. Openness, I think frankly from here today you will hear an awful lot of stuff at our AGM about our annual report, about our accounts and about how we're trading. Not just financial measures but also some of the softer measures as well. Equality, we believe in letting every colleague being as good as they possibly can be, and we do everything we can to help their individual developments. And then finally today, social responsibility, key area and one I really want to take the time to explore. So in terms of social responsibility, we believe it impacts three specific areas. There's the social impact, there's the environmental impact, and there's the economic impact. From a social point of view, we're going to have Maxine, who's in charge of community, come up and tell you about what we do with our profits in the community. Mike Pickering is going to come up and talk to you about our environmental impact, what we do, and how we make sure we're doing the best we can to defend the environment. And I'm delighted to say we've got Joe White, as Chief Executive of Co-op Futures, who's going to come and talk to us about what role Co-op Futures play in developing co-ops in the UK.
Good morning, my name's Jo White and I'm the Executive Director of Co-operative Futures. Just to tell you a little bit about what Co-operative Futures do, is we work with cooperatives and community-owned businesses that operate in local communities. We provide them with advice and support. So, what types of groups do we work with? Well, in the last year or so, we've worked with a wide variety of groups, including everything from beekeepers to people who want to graze Dexter cattle on their local common, to community energy schemes, to hydro schemes, to food schemes, people who want to grow food, people who want to sell food, and even people who want to cook food. One of the groups we're working with at the moment are selling toasties, and through this they're offering opportunities for employment for young people. So that's what we do. Other groups we've worked with include IT, community facilities, education and music. So how are we able to do this? Well, it's all thanks to the Midcounties members. Every year you vote to pay a proportion of the members' distribution to Co-operative Futures. Why do Midcounties think this is a good use of their money? Well, it's all about co-ops helping co-ops. We know that by having more co-ops that are strong businesses, this provides strong local economies, which deliver jobs and services in your local communities. It makes the whole cooperative movement stronger. It's about living up to our principles. Who knows where the next Midcounties will come from? Anyway, I can talk about cooperative futures for ages, but what's important is that you hear it from the horse's mouth. And on that note, I'd like to pass over to Cass from Broken Spoke Cooperative.
Hi, I'm Cassiope Sidoriak, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Broken Spoke Bike Co-op in Oxford. We are creating a culture of cycling in Oxford by teaching people how to ride and maintain their bikes, and we're creating an inclusive environment where everybody feels comfortable with bike maintenance and with riding bicycles safely on the roads. When we first started out, we're approaching our 1-year anniversary in September, and when we first started out, we received a lot of help from Co-operative Futures. They gave us 4 days of business advice, from tax planning to figuring out what a multi-stakeholder industrial and provident society is, and they have a lot of ongoing support that we can tap into here and there as we continue to grow and develop. So what we're doing right now in Oxford is we're in the center of town, and we work with groups such as Crisis Skylight to help their members achieve some employment opportunities. And we also work with schools such as the Churwell School. We work with the general public. We offer a range of classes from beginning bike maintenance classes all the way up to advanced courses. And we have a host of volunteers. So our membership consists of employees and volunteers who've given a significant time contribution to the organization rather than strictly a financial contribution. So we're really happy to be part of the cooperatives movement that's growing. There's a lot of bike shops that are becoming more of the cooperative model, especially workers' co-ops, and we're really proud to be a part of it. Thanks.
Hello, I'm Maxine Sharman and I'm Head of Community Engagement for the Midcounties Cooperative. I'm going to talk to you today a little bit about what we do on our community engagement strategy. We have 5 key areas for how we support communities. We have projects, we have volunteering, we have schools engagement, we have our grant giving programme, and we have our charity partner. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about each one of those in a bit more detail. So our grant giving, we set up the Midcounties Cooperative Community Fund in 2011. We used dormant member share capital to do this, and your elected members of a membership strategy committee oversee the strategy for the fund criteria, and they judge all of the grant applications. The fund gives general grants of up to £2,000 and then 1 per county per year of up to £10,000. And to date we've distributed £535,000, which has helped to support 397 different grassroots community groups helping to sustain their work. We have an established colleague volunteering programme. All of our colleagues across the whole of the society have an entitlement to take up to 3 days a year, paid time to take part in community volunteering. We're really pleased to say that we've got 56% active participation in our volunteering programme. And last year, the Society delivered 40,000 hours back to support community organisations, sharing skills from the business where skills were needed within the community. It's a fantastic way for colleagues to live our values. We talk about social responsibility, we talk about our DOES values. Every colleague here understands DOES, and really being able to bring to life the value of social responsibility through their commitment to helping to support other people within the community is just a great thing to do. And it really does drive colleague engagement as well. One of the key business benefits that we see back from our volunteering programme is how it helps to drive retention. Labour turnover figures for the Society, you know, they're not that high at all, but you know, they're still higher than we'd like them to be. I think they're about 20% labour turnover. For those colleagues that volunteer, they fall dramatically to 7%. So it's a real cost saving to the business as well. So the next part of the presentation to talk to you about our projects. Our community projects are sort of standalone pieces of work that are linked to specific community issues, and they're linked to issues really mostly around social inclusion. And they work with, we work in schools and with young people to work on our projects. I've got 3 examples of what we've done. We've got a project on alcohol misuse where we work with young people to really educate them on the dangers of drinking excessively and binge drinking. We have a really good piece of a really great project that we put together, which is around teenage relationships. Last year our charity partner was Women's Aid, and we put together a project to be left as a legacy to Women's Aid, working alongside them to produce a piece of material that could be used as an educational resource in schools and youth groups around the UK. And actually, it's even gone international. We've even sent the resource out to Canada and to America as well. So it really is getting our brand out there too. And it talks really about, you know, relationships in young people, you know, to really stop domestic violence becoming an issue, you know, before they reach adulthood. And then we have a project around dental health as well. We worked in Oxfordshire with the Oxfordshire PCT, with primary school children around dental health, and we worked, you know, with the NHS, really making sure we use their branding as well within our project to make sure that we were driving young people that weren't accessing dental services to the dental services there locally. And again, we have some astounding results. You can find out a little bit more about our projects on our website if you want some more detail on those. Our charity partner I mentioned under our projects was Women's Aid until February this year, when we changed to the Teenage Cancer Trust. Teenage Cancer Trust is a fantastic organisation for us to be working with. Our colleagues selected them, they were our colleagues' choice. We had a resounding vote back from our colleague council to work with them, and that was really demonstrated by the fact that we did our very first Give at the Till event in March, and we raised a record-breaking £87,000 to kick off our fundraising for that charity. So that was just over one weekend. We've got a target of raising £200,000 this year, so that's really helped us towards that as well. Teenage Cancer Trust are at the AGM today, and you can find out more detail about them as well on our website. I'm now going to talk to you about our schools engagement programme. So our schools engagement programme is all around our value of developing young people. We've got strategic partnerships with 5 schools, and they really work around academic achievement, employability, mentoring, co-op values, co-op business model. You know, we really do work to get cooperation into the curriculum of the schools that we are partnered with. We work with Co-operative trust schools and academies, and we work through Business in the Community's business class model as well with our partner schools. We also work with the Outward Bound Trust. We help bursary patron members of Outward Bound, and we use our funding there as well to really drive home the values type behaviours that we install in young people that we work with. And we all know that developing soft skills and resilience in young people is of equal importance. If we can introduce them to this and to engage them in co-op values, then we're helping to create a generation of more socially minded young people. And I guess that's what we all want to see. So that's what we're doing on our communities, and that's how we're making our communities more sustainable. What I'm going to do now is hand you over to Mike Pickering, who's going to talk to you about our work in environmental sustainability.
Hello, my name's Mike Pickering. I'm the Sustainability Manager for the Midcounties Co-operative. I just want to run through our sustainability strategy and how we form that strategy. In the first instance, we analyse our key environmental impacts that our business has on the environment. This is a very important part in the process because sustainability can be such a broad area of activity, and if an organisation or a business isn't careful, they can take on a huge amount of activity without really focusing on what their key impacts are. Once we've identified our impacts, we then look at the ones that we can make a real difference upon. Again, similar to previous, it's a case of making sure that we're picking the impacts that we can really make a difference upon. Through this analysis, we've found that energy usage and recycling are our two key impacts, and we've therefore incorporated these into our society steering wheel measures. I'm now going to tell you a little bit about our recycling activity to date. We have targets year on year to increase our recycling in line with our reduction in waste strategy. At the end of last year, we achieved a 69% recycling rate. This year, we have a target of 75%. We've achieved this primarily through rolling out dry mix recycling across all of our trading sites, but also food waste recycling across all of our food stores. This food waste goes to anaerobic digestion and produces renewable energy. The key thing that underpins all of this activity, though, is raising colleague awareness around good recycling practice. It's very important that with these facilities in place, that we work with our colleagues to make sure they're aware of what they can do to increase recycling effectively. So what can you do today as a member? Recycling is a really important issue in society in general. It's up to 60% of waste that goes in general waste bins can actually be recycled. It also takes up to 500 years for some plastics to decompose. So as a very simple call to action from today, all you need to do is ensure that you recycle your plastic bottles in the bins provided. This is a very simple action that everyone can take, and you really will be making a difference to help defend the environment. Now, to explain our energy reduction activity to date, we're going to show you a short video.
The Midcounties Co-operative takes energy usage very seriously. In order to ensure that we strive to reduce our energy usage, we have an environmental steering group in place to develop action plans across all business groups. We also have environmental champions in place to drive these actions forward at site level. We focus on developing energy-saving property projects and raising colleague awareness to reduce our energy usage. We have an eco-specification in place for our property projects in which a range of energy-saving opportunities are considered. A good example of this is our Fulbrook food store. The branch is one of the first convenience stores in the country to have 100% LED lighting throughout the branch, both inside and outside. Thermal imaging confirms the branch is 25% more thermally efficient than the equivalent, built 3 years ago. Our fridges have double glazed doors, reducing energy consumption, and use a refrigerant with 50% less environmental impact. The heating system uses heat pump technology, which produces 4 times more heat than it uses in electricity. An energy management system controls and optimises the heating, lighting and refrigeration. We also tackle our energy usage in our existing buildings across all of our business areas and use thermal imaging to identify where we can improve. We have used energy-saving technologies such as insulation and draft-proofing in our travel, pharmacy, funeral and childcare branches. Whilst in our larger food retail branches, we have used voltage optimization to reduce electricity usage and solar PV panels to supply the energy we do need from a renewable source. Simple actions in the workplace make a big difference to our energy reduction progress. Our focus is to raise awareness amongst colleagues to take action in the workplace to save energy. This involves a range of engagement opportunities, including workshops and voluntary environmental champion opportunities. Our energy reduction progress has enabled us to receive the Carbon Trust Standard Award and Business in the Community's Big Tick Environmental Leadership Award. As a socially responsible business, we will continue to strive to defend the environment. Thank you to all of our colleagues, members and customers in supporting these efforts.
So, you've heard from Joe White of Co-op Futures, you've heard from Maxine and you've heard from Mike about how we believe, contributing to the social, the economic and the environmental well-being of the communities in which we trade. I hope you found it informative. I hope you've learned something today. But crucially as well, what I hope you're going to do is take a few actions as a result of this. You are at Midcounties AGM. The AGM is your opportunity to put democracy into action. You can vote on things which you care about, and that's what we'll be doing in the afternoon session. But probably more than that, what I want you to do as a member is consider, should you be voting in the society elections? I would have thought the answer has to be yes, because you're voting to change the way the society operates over the course of the coming years. Perhaps you'd actually like to stand for election yourself. You can stand for election for a membership strategy committee. You can stand for election for a main board. If you'd like to find out more, either go on our website at Midcounties Co-op or speak to one of the people here today. I think it's absolutely essential though that whatever you do, you continue to trade with us and you continue to take part in the democratic participation that we have as a society. It's one of our fundamental values. It is indeed the D from does. But I really hope you've enjoyed today and you've enjoyed hearing about what we do to make a difference to the communities in which we serve. The S from our does values.